Grace and peace, everybody. Fix my little necklace right here. I'll wait for a couple of people to get on. Just gonna talk for a few minutes. Hope y'all are enjoying your Sunday. Sundays is usually reset day for my family. Go on and do a massive cleaning on Sundays. Back when I was growing up, we had to clean on Saturday and Sunday. We were not observing no Shabbat. we clean on Sundays around these parts. Get all in them baseboards, all in them walls. So that's what I'm gonna be doing when I get off of here. But I had to come on. What's up, fam? Shalom, shalom to all of you. Give a couple of shout outs before we get started. Peace and blessings, Brother Timothy. Blessings, Sister Angie. Listen, if you had to clean up on the weekends, do me a favor and put a 1 in the chat. Fast Nickel in the building. Peace and blessings to you. Yahuwah's Kingdom. Peace and blessings. Brother Eric in the building. Peace and blessings to you. Milan. Peace and blessings. Kaya. Shalom. Manola Santiago. Shalom. Angie was like, yep, that was me. Timothy, Angela. Eric was like, yes. Man, I know you had to clean up, boy. You came from a Jamaican household, man. That was it, man. That was it. We done. Clean, clean, clean. DK, shalom. All right. So we see, we be having so much stuff in common. Cleaning and cooking. For us, we had to cook on the weekend for the week. You know what I'm saying? We had to cook on the weekend, cook everything for the entire week. What West Indian family did. Sister Sheila, shalom, shalom. Sister Jill up in the building. Yeah, girl, you made it to 2 lives. You was on last night. You was giving the business last night. You was like, listen, let me tell y'all something. We got to go to the core, to the brokenness. And you ain't lying, sis. We're going to collab on something real soon because we're going to talk about that aspect. I think that what you brought to the table yesterday in your comment section is something that really needs to be fleshed out a lot more. So we're definitely going to get into that because we're going to keep hitting these issues. We're going to keep hitting these issues that we hit last night. Listen, if you were in the building last night, do me a favor and throw up a fire emoji. If you were in the building last night with me and Pastor Kelly. Peace and blessing. Kelsey Daniels, talk about Jill Scott and the national anthem, will you please? Yes, actually, I'm going to be covering that on Wednesday. I was going to cover it on Monday, but I'm doing back-to-back lives. So I was like, man, I'm going to be exhausted. And plus, I got my own work things that I'm preparing to do in August. So I'll share with y'all, that a little bit later as well. But I'm busy as a bee. All right. Yo, my curtain is just like all in my face right now. Okay. Awesome. So we got some folks who was in the building. Listen, if you weren't in the building yesterday, you definitely need to check out that conversation because that's the basis for what I'm going to be talking to y'all about this morning. All right. I was reading the comment section like I generally do after I do a live the next day. And most of y'all who were in the building, y'all were blessed because of the discussion. Found out that Sister Carly, who was abducted yesterday, that she's been found. All praises to the Most High. She's been found. She is safe. I haven't even gotten a chance to look up the story just yet, but apparently she has been found. She's safe and everything is all good with her. So all praises to the Most High. Yes, the effectual fervent prayers of the righteous avail much. And man, that's a scary situation. You understand? Oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine being in a situation like that, seriously. But thank you, family, for praying for her, for all the people around the world that prayed for her community, for praying for her. Like I told y'all, this goes beyond racial borders, right? Y'all saw that a lot of people in her community, they were Caucasian, but they got together and they prayed for her. And I'm telling you, family, we got to put our faith in Yah. And these trying times when stuff like this is demonic stuff that is going on, where they're using children to bait for this human trafficking. So hopefully that child was found also. But we're going to continue to really just dive deep into these issues, dealing with human trafficking, dealing with what's going on in our community, dealing with what's going on in the culture. It's important. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to poke at the beehive sometimes, because if you don't poke at the beehive, sometimes it can look like there's nothing there, but there's a whole lot there. There's a whole lot going on. And so that's what we're going to be talking about right now. But I was looking in the comment section, and I came across a comment from someone who said that Pastor Kelly and I, we were off target. Not just that we were off target, but that we are judgmental and holier than thou. That we come across, or I'm not even going to speak for Pastor Kelly. I'm going to say, I come across like, I'm better than for bringing up this issue about seeing the women in our community dressed and exposing themselves the way they are. And what I need to do is start a program. If I really care, I need to start a program or find a way to get access to these people. Because apparently this platform, Ashanda at Large, is not access in finding a way to communicate this message. Apparently, this platform that the Most High has given me with 8,000 subscribers over the years and speaking forth his oracles is not a place to address an issue that is dealing with our culture when our youth are primarily on these devices. But apparently this is not a place where these issues can be brought to light. So we're going to deal with this whole thing of judgment and holier than thou and not speaking to the issue. When we went to church, we got sermons. We got sermonized again and again and again about the same things over and over again. We listened sometimes to our pastors make examples out of the culture for positivity versus pointing out the negativity. We listened as some of our pastors used lines from Jay-Z's songs and used lines from Beyonce's songs and Rihanna, and had plays and all kind of stuff to try to draw the culture in by means of secular usage, and using that as a vehicle to so-called, quote unquote, win people to the Lord. Okay. We watched as pastors and ministries use the secular culture, not showing that the culture that they were using was a culture of poison that was used as a weapon against us, a weapon of mass destruction against us as a people, but use that same culture to try to lure in our young people to go to their congregations. We grew up, many of us, seeing that within our assemblies. I was watching Truth Unedited last night, as a matter of fact, and he was talking about his own experience of going to churches where pastors were using Jay-Z as an example. And I said, man, I had the same exact situation where at my church, they used his song, A Hard Knock Life, to do an entire youth night over. Okay. And then he talked about going to another church called Church by the Glades and how they were promoting Harry Potter, and they were promoting Rihanna, and they were promoting all of these secular artists. See, that's what we got in the church. Now, we come and we are bringing correction to our people, and we're saying, listen, we need to be aware that all of these so-called cultural influences are being brought to us by Hasatan. We come in and we speak to that reality, even though, yes, many of us are aware of that, but we flesh out a conversation because we're talking about the reality that both Hebrew men and Hebrew women have been greatly impacted and affected in a negative way because of the culture, because of the media, because of the music. And yet, us bringing this to attention is a problem. Now, I want to say to the person who made the comment, first off, you don't know me. You don't know me. You see me on this platform and you think that you know me. You do not know me. There's a few of y'all that do know me, but you don't know me. You don't know what I do when I'm not on this phone. You don't know what I do when I'm not on this platform. First and foremost, charity starts at home. Charity starts at home. I am a homemaker. I take care of my young children. I raise them up in the way that they should go. I do what it takes along with my husband to pray over them and to read the word to them and to raise them up and train them up against this culture. My children, for those of you who have seen my children, you see my children are blessed. You see my children are in their right mind. You see my children are not walking around here looking like hoodlums. We've lived in the ghetto most of our lives. But as my mother taught us, we may be in the ghetto, but we are not of the ghetto. If you listen to my children, you would never know that they grew up in a ghetto. And the reason for that is because charity starts at home. I started there. I dealt with my own there. But it's not only my children that I deal with. I deal with multiple children. Not only children do I deal with young people. I deal with adults. You don't know me. I affect change within my local community. My children affect change within our local community. We do music programs. I started an entire music program, brought in an international organization to the U.S. Virgin Islands in order to start a program here to get our youth off the streets after school and put an instrument in their hands so that the gun can be taken out of their hand. You don't know me. I'm offended when you sit there on your high horse with your keyboard, like your keyboard warrior telling me about what I need to do. You don't know me. Me and my family are affecting change that you may never, ever be able to affect, not because you can't, but because you look at people who are doing the work and you tell us we're doing nothing. You don't know me. Not only that, I'm getting ready to take on employment as a public relations director for my son's school, the one in which he graduated from and became the salutatorian and received a full ride scholarship to our HBCU here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm getting ready to become an ambassador for that school, for this school. Understand, I'm not trying to boast in anything of myself and what I do, but I don't appreciate somebody who is fully unaware of what I do to try to comment and tell me what it is that I do when I'm off of this platform. Sister Jill could tell you, she's on me all the time about getting myself rest because I'm constantly pouring myself out. That's what the life of a believer does. Pour themselves out. Why? Because the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. I didn't even come on here trying to get agitated. I really didn't. But I'm going to speak to this issue a little bit further because, you see, it's that very attitude that if we talk to and we communicate with our people that we're holier than thou, if we talk to and communicate to our people that we're out of line and we're being judgmental, you see, you have the attitude that the Most High is against. Because he told the older women in the book, and Titus, he told the older women through the apostle that our responsibility is to teach the younger women how to be wives and how to be mothers. You see, but it's a lot of older women out here that don't say nothing. They keep their mouth shut. You know why they keep their mouth shut? Because of comments like that. Because anytime there is correction that is being made to help a younger person or even somebody who is older but has a young mentality, there's somebody to say, you can't tell me nothing because you act holier than thou. Holier than thou. That's real cute. I mean, that's super, super duper cute. When I lost my virginity at 14 years old. Holier than thou when I was smoking weed at the age of 14 years old up until the age of 21. Holier than thou when I was smoking cigarettes at the age of 10. I got drunk for the first time at the age of 8. Holier than thou, though. See, you don't know me. You don't know nothing about me. You don't know anything about me. You think you know me, but you don't know anything about me. You see, I came out of the fashion world. I rolled in all of the clubs. I was in the VIP section and the limos. I hung out with the celebrities. You don't know me. I left all of that. I left all of that when I got saved. I left all of that when the Most High delivered me. I remember being in the nightclub. I remember dancing, and I remember that I had a vision of the Most High tearing the roof off of the entire club. And finding me there and finding me wanting. I remember in the club having this vision. The Most High was dealing with me for a very long time. You see, this hurts me. This hurts me because at the end of the day, when the Most High does a work in somebody's heart and changes them from the inside out, and they see their brothers and they see their sisters in the same bondage that the Most High delivered them from, and they say, you know what, sis, you know what, little bro, it don't got to be like that. It don't got to be like that. You don't got to live like that. The Most High can do a work inside of you. You could be born again. Yahusha is real. Can't nobody ever convince me in this life that the Most High through Yahusha does not work, that his power is not real. See, because he changed me. He changed me. I'm a new creation. Old things have passed away. All things became new. I got married at the age of 24 years old. I've been married for almost 20 years. Faithful to my husband, faithful to my family, not because of anything that I am or anything that I was, but because of his glory, because of his goodness, because of his mercy. So I'm sitting here trying to testify and give you my testimony. In your mind, I'm being holier than thou and judgmental. You see, this is the problem that we have in our community right here. This is the problem that we have in our community, where we don't want to receive any correction. Can't nobody say nothing to you. Can't nobody speak life into you, because you'd rather be down there. You'd rather sit there and be like the pigs wallowing in the mud. But don't correct me. Don't say nothing to me, because if you do, then you're holier than thou. Well, holier than thou translates to holier than you. And if I'm holier than you, I don't have to be. You could be holy too. You could be holy too. But you see our people in a state of duress. You see our people all over this world, from the four corners of this earth, in a state of duress. And your response to when someone is trying to speak truth, when somebody is trying to make a change and affect change, your response is to come against that person who is trying to do something different. Man, if I had somebody speaking into my life at a young age, maybe I would not have made the decisions that I've made. If I had somebody speaking to me and telling me my value when I was a child, maybe I would not have lost my virginity at 14 years old. I think many of us can attest to the same. Many of us can attest to the same, that if we had somebody who had the courage to speak to us. Many of the reasons why I didn't go on to make the failures that I could have further made in my life is because of my grandfather. But at that point, I had already made so many failures in my life. But he got me on the straight and narrow. He spoke life into me. He used to sit me down for 2 and 3 hours and read the word and speak the word and tell me of my value. I was a teenager and I was a hothead at that point. But my grandfather spoke life into me. And I watched my grandfather and saw this man who was once a stone cold alcoholic, who lived in a boys' home, whose parents died while he was young, who came from Puerto Rico and couldn't even speak English, who did not have a high school diploma, but yet built a mansion and 2 other homes and had his business and had a family who loved him. I saw this man make no excuses in his life, and I knew I couldn't make any either. I'm telling you, I've seen the Most Hand turn our people around. So I'm going to say this. The only way in which I've ever grown is somebody sizing me up. The only way in which I've ever grown is somebody sizing me up. I have a very special woman in my life. For the past 10 years, I've watched her be an incredible mother of 9 children, a lawyer and an architect, homeschool mother, give up her life for her children. And she looked at me year after year after year, and she sized me up. She was my Elijah. I was her Elisha. She trained me, and she told me all the things that I did not want to hear. She told me about the excuses that I was making. She told me about the choices that I was making. She told me about the attitudes that I was having that was working against me. And I made a decision. I made a decision to not sit there and say, you can't tell me nothing. I listened to her. I listened to her and took a long look in the mirror. And because I did that, she is part of the reason why I am the way I am today. It's the people that are willing to pour in to our people that you should be honoring. It's not the people that are sitting there turning a blind eye and saying, you know what, I'm just going to live my life and you live yours. You see, that's the nonsense right there. That's the nonsense in our community. You got so many of our people that will turn a blind eye and seeing their brother or their sister, young and old, down the street, looking and living lascivious and won't say nothing. Why? Because y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all don't want to hear it. You don't want nobody say nothing to you. Can't nobody speak nothing. You just want to intimidate people who have the courage to do so. Why would you want to try to intimidate a person who has the courage to stand up and speak life into our community? You want to holler about, oh, won't the Most High come and save us and deliver us? But when he's using his people to bring open correction, all of a sudden now, we holier than thou. This don't make no sense. This don't make any sense among our community that we can't have people that are set up to speak up because you just want to shut them down. And when we have problems where our little boys and our little girls are being trafficked, and we have problems where our teenagers are being trafficked, and we have problems where our young women are being trafficked, who speaks up then? Oh, you only like it when I say what you want to hear, right? Right, because I could talk about white supremacy all day long and I get 2,000-3,000 views within a day or two. But the minute I start talking about what we need to do, all of a sudden now the views go down. All of a sudden now you got a problem with me. You don't want to change. You don't want to grow. Not for real, you don't. You see, you are the one that's immature. You are the one that won't go forward and move forward. Not in this life. You may amass a little bit of money, but in the spirit, you will be hungry. In the spirit, you will be anorexic. In the spirit, you will be found wanting. You will be found wanting because you did not want to allow correction to come into your life. Do you know how many single mothers are out here right now that are looking over the decisions and the choices that they made and regret? Do you know how many single mothers are out here right now and thinking about that baby that they could no longer hold in their arms because they aborted? Because nobody was there to help them and tell them that they can make a change in their life, that somebody was going to be there to help them through that process. You know how many of our brothers right now are on drugs, are in prison right now because nobody was there to speak life into them? Nobody was there to correct them? This makes me angry when people are actually out here doing the work. You think this is what we do? Only I told y'all, Pastor Kelly and me, when we roll heavy, doing the work outside of these platforms. He's got Passion for Reconciliation Ministries in Virginia. He's out here working physically with the people. He's been doing this for 15 years. I've been ministry for almost 20 years. How dare you tell me what I'm not doing? You don't know anything about what I do. But this ain't about me. It's about this general attitude. It's about this general attitude that we have among Israel. We got 90 to 95% of negativity coming to us on a daily, consistent basis. You got 5% of voices willing to speak. 95% of what's coming at us is from negative voices. 5% are the ones that are willing to speak and stand up for righteousness' sake. And what happens? Those 5% are being bullied and intimidated to just shut up. Well, you got the wrong one, boo. You got the wrong one, see, because I'm not accountable to you. I'm not accountable to any of y'all who have a problem with what y'all has called me to do. I'm accountable to the Most High. And trust me, I didn't have to be doing this. When I tell you I didn't have to be doing this, trust and believe I didn't have to be doing this. I got a business mind. I could have been running a very multi-successful business, multiple businesses. But the Most High called me to speak to my people and to help them in the way that others help me along the way. So I'm doing what he asked me to do. I'm doing what he asked me to do. Are you? Are you too busy on your keyboard hollering about how judgmental I am, how holier than thou I am? Come on now. Holier than thou, really? I've never come on this platform and try to position myself as though I'm holier than thou. I tell y'all all the time that the Most High is still dealing with me. I never come on here saying I'm perfect, but I'm being perfected, as we all should. We all should be perfected. That's what the call of the commission of being a disciple is. someone who is allowing the Most High to discipline them. So I just wanted to air this out because this frustrated me, obviously. It frustrated me to see that we still have people in our community that, you know, and I'm not talking about just Hebrew by bloodline. I'm talking about, I know I'm Hebrew. I know I'm an Israelite. To sit there and come against ministries and platforms that want to help our people to grow. It's very disgusting to me. It's very disgusting to me. And so I needed to call this this foolishness out. I just needed to call it out because I can't sit there and just let stuff like that ride. The reason why Pastor Kelly came on last night is because there are women who were saying that it's always being discussed about what we do, but never about what the men do. So Pastor Kelly came on to address the men, and he addressed the men. He addressed the foolishness of the gangster community. He addressed the situation concerning the LGBT push for our men. He addressed the passport bro situation. He addressed so much of this stuff concerning the men. And we said this is the beginning of the conversation that we're having. But we did it so that there would be balance. So it's not just a man or a woman. It's a man and a woman dealing with our collective community's issues. These are our issues. And at the end of the day, we have to be willing to go to the table and confront this stuff and deal with this stuff. But listen, if you come against what we're doing because it makes you uncomfortable, you don't need to come to us. You need to take a long look in the mirror. There are issues and problems in your own life that you don't want to deal with. If you feel like you're being judged, good, you should. Because maybe it's the judgment of the Most High that's coming to convict you for unrighteousness that needs to be dealt with in your life. Maybe you are that mother or that grandmother or that father or that grandfather seeing your children go wayward, and you don't know what to do, and you feel judged because somebody brought it to the table. It wasn't meant for you to feel judged. It was meant for you to have some corrective solutions in your family and in your life. We're all dealing with this. Not one of us is exempt from dealing with this culture that is trying to destroy our children. You think because I've stayed home with my children that I don't wrestle with the culture trying to steal my children? You lie. I wrestle with it all the time. Me and my husband are constantly wrestling with our teenagers about their affection for the world versus their affection for the Most High. So at the end of the day, I'm not coming off like I'm holier than thou. I'm coming off like somebody who actually cares. And maybe because nobody cared in your life, you don't know the difference. Let me go ahead. I'm going to read some of these comments. Will Walker says, I have 20 grandchildren. I don't want them affected by this mess. That's right. No, we don't want our children affected by this anymore. We have to have forethought. Family, we done seen what's happened through the generation. We see what's going on right now. And if we have some projection, we'll be able to see that if we don't make a difference now, if we don't step up and stand up now and open up our voices and speak now, that our children and our children's children, they will fall by the wayside. They'll fall by the wayside because nobody was there to speak to them. Nobody was there to help them. I'm glad for those of you who enjoyed the conversation last night. I think those that called yesterday's show holier than thou are those still caught up in religion. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they did in the black church. They hollered and hooped and they did all of that stuff, but they didn't really deal with what was going on in the culture. And because they didn't deal with it, the youth were going out there and they were living the same type of life and they were having sex. And next thing you know, the girls were showing up pregnant. And then the girls would come into the church pregnant and they would say, you can't be up in here pregnant. So they would go make them get an abortion. They'd make them go and get an abortion because they did not want them to have the appearance of evil. They had a form of godliness, but denied the power thereof. So now they're guilty of murder because they done aborted the baby, on top of hid the issue of fornication because they didn't want to deal with it. If that's what you're into, if that's what you want, go back to church. Y'all knows they will attack us for being in this walk. So be it. Yeah, I get attacked all the time. I get attacked all the time. I always feel the enemy trying to come against the work that Yah has called me to do on the home front, on this platform outside of the home. And I know many of you do as well. Yeah, that testimony was so powerful that Truth Unedited gave, man. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, y'all need to check it out. It was powerful, man. It resonated with me so much, you know, that family coming against you when the Most High has changed your life and they're supposed to be so quote unquote spiritual and they're supposed to be good Christians, but they come against you when you actually living for the Most High for real. Yeah, I agree. Many are spiritually immature, but you ain't never going to get mature unless somebody sizes you up. That's right, Sister Jerry. I believe it's Sister Jerry. Yeah, we raised in this village. My children, they ain't raised anything like how I was raised. And that's a testament to the Most High, not to me or my husband. He did what he did through us. Hurt people, and some speak from hurtful places. That's what I believe. You know, I agree that hurt people, and some people speak from hurt places. But that's why they need correction. Because at the end of the day, we all have reasons to be hurt. Every single one of us has something to be hurt for. But you don't heal by just lashing out because you're hurt. You heal when you're willing to do this and listen more. Listen more, talk less. The only time I ever grew was when I did this and listened more. While I was being rebuked. While I was being rebuked for the way I was living my life. You're a bodyguard for celebrities. Yeah, they're some of the saddest people in the world. It's manufactured fun is what it is. That's what I deduced it down to in the clubs. It's manufactured. Holier than thou is the default response for those that say they are Christian but know nothing. That's right, Brother Eric. Stop the madness. Royals acting like peasants. You hear a chicken, you hear roosters. Yeah, this ain't like the cartoons, man. They don't go off at 6 o'clock in the morning to go hide. They be out here till 6 p.m. at night. They're annoying. Many love darkness and don't want to come out of the worldly mindset. Love is telling people the truth and what's pleasing to the Most High. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Love is telling the people the truth. But our people, you know, it's like the word said that light is coming to the world, but men love darkness rather than light because their deeds are evil. And it's unfortunate. Thank you for your transparency, Akoti. Hallelujah. Yes, absolutely. The transparency is necessary. The transparency is necessary. I don't tell everybody about my life and my struggles all the time because what I don't try to do is to try to focus this ministry on myself. I don't try to focus this ministry on myself because I'm aware that when you know, like Brother Ron was saying yesterday on Truth Unedited, you know, he's giving a portion, a piece of his life. So you understand why he has the mind that he does and why he feels the way he does. That's what I'm doing essentially. I'm giving y'all a portion, a piece of my life so you understand what the Most High has done. This is just a testimony. Why? Because we overcome Ha-Satan by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So when I'm speaking and I'm saying, this is what the Most High has brought me from, I don't glory in that stuff. I don't glory in that stuff at all. But I understand that that stuff is relatable because so many of us have been there. So many of us have been in that situation. And Yah dealt with us. And he delivered us. Speaking the truth in love because we know what's out there. Be mad at you when you see the house on fire and you pull somebody out of the fire. Be mad at you. Why didn't you build a center inside of the home with the fire in it and then spend time in the center trying to educate them about the fact that there's a fire in the house that's getting ready to burn them up? Come on, man. That don't make no sense. You snatch them out of the fire. That's what you do. They ain't got to like it. You got to snatch stuff if you want them to live. Love you too, Sister Natalie. Yahuwah corrects those who he loves. That's right. That's scripture. He says, I chastise those whom I love. Yeah, I was getting emotional too for a minute. Lovely Africa. I was, because I was thinking about, every time I think about what the Most High has delivered me from, every time I think about what the Most High has delivered me from, it does make me want to tear up, because I know who I was. I know who I was. I know. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. It's only because of him that I'm here. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be a mother of 10. I should not be here in this place. I did not deserve his love. I didn't deserve his love ever. But he poured it on me. He shed it on me because of his awesome grace and mercy. Let them speak. The Most High said, be ye holy as I am holy. That's right. Yeah. That happened to my mom too, lovely Africa. Was a teen mom. Sister Tia up in the building from South Africa. Peace and blessings to you, my dear sis. Yeah, Sister Tia, no. She been here to the VI. She seen my life. Team True, what does walking in holiness look like? What does walking by faith look like? That's what we need. That's why we need living examples before us to speak to us of those experiences. Keep pressing, sister. That's right. We do, because it's so hard to see what holiness looks like when in a world where all we see is wickedness. It's so difficult to see it, but that's why we have to stay in our word, and we have to be willing to allow the Most High to show us how to live. We have to allow him to show us. It's not always going to be easy, and we're not going to always get it right. I don't always get it right. That's for daggone sure I don't always get it right. Yes, that's right, Brother Mark. We're the same stiff-necked people that the prophets had to face off with every day. Keep that fire in your bones and shout it out from the rooftop, sis. Hallelujah. That's right. It's that stiff neck, man. That stiff neck for real. You can't tell me nothing. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Okay, well, fine. Click off. YouTube is a free platform. You can go to any other channel if this is something you don't want to hear. We cannot keep silent. While there's still much that needs to be said, I won't have anyone's blood on my hands. That's right. I'm getting ready to get out of here in a minute, y'all, but I just want to read a couple more comments and then let y'all know about tonight. Then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Some of us don't want the whole Bible, just the smooth and easy things. That's right. The smooth and easy things. That's right. That's what's keeping us in the stupor that we're in. We keep proving we the people of the book, but for all the wrong reasons, bro. Man. That's a word. That's a word. We got to prove it for the right reasons, right? All right. I'm getting ready to look down a little bit at the bottom. Thank you so much for your gift, Clifford Possible. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, correction is so important, whether they want to hear it or not. I had to tell a close relative that Beyonce is a no-no. Don't spend your money on evil. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember my daughters, they had a good friend, and they were telling my daughters that they were going to go to Disney World. And we didn't do Disney. Like, Disney is like a no-no for us because all the witchcraft and hypersexualization and all that kind of stuff. So my daughters spoke to their friend and said, well, Disney's evil. These are my little girls. They must have been about 7 or 8 years old. Disney is evil. You don't need, to watch Disney because they got all kinds of bad stuff in it. Now, I was not there at the time. They were at music school. And the little girl went back to her mom and told her mom what my daughter said about Disney being evil. So the mother came to me and started asking me about this whole issue with Disney. And I said, well, this is what's going on with the company. This is what goes on with their movies and such. That the mother and the father were so grateful. We actually ended up becoming very good friends. And it came from out of the mouth of babes. Do you understand what I'm saying? The children, you have to teach them the truth, because children don't have these political boxes and filters that are put in place to keep them from speaking the truth. They're going to speak the truth if you put the truth in them. As long as you put the truth in them, they're going to speak the truth. And so that family actually ended up canceling their trip to Disney World and making a decision to do something else. But all praises to the Most High, because that family, they were blessed. They were blessed because of something that my daughters shared with them. Shout out to my husband, Aaron the Levite, in the building. All right. Okay, family. Let me go ahead and let me get ready to get out here. Shout out to Brother Asaph in the building from the UK, across the pond. Sister Ashanda, how do you feel when those who voice their own opinion? That's a very good question for those who voice their opinion. Brother Timothy, I have always been the type of person that likes to listen to every side. So when it came to politics, I would listen to the conservatives as well as the liberals, because I want to hear from both sides of what they're dealing with. When it came to religion, I wanted to hear what the Christians had to say, the Buddhists. I want to hear what the Muslims, the Jehovah's Witness, the Mormons. I want to listen to what all of them have to say in their position. I've never been the type of person that's been like, no, I can't hear this. Why? Because at the end of the day, people make the decisions and the choices that they make based off of the set of information that they've been fed. Okay, the set of information that they have grown up to learn, whatever. So I want to always be a person that is willing to hear. If I was not a person who was willing to hear, the Most High wouldn't have been able to even help me to understand who I was as an Israelite. But I think that there comes a point in a time when you've heard the argument from both sides, right? Because the scripture says that one side seems true until you listen to the both sides. You have to hear the whole matter. It comes a time when you've heard the whole matter that you have to make right judgment. That's where we get into. It comes a point in time where after you've heard the entire matter, where you must at that point make right judgment. When it came to religion, I saw that all religions had the same things in common, that they all had a set of creeds and codes in which they follow based off of their culture and their traditions. But when it came to being born again, that was the only thing that I saw was different. Right. I saw that the Most High used his son Yahusha to come down to seek and save that which was lost, save those who were unable to save themselves. That was different from every other religion. And I thought at the time it was religion, only to find out later on in my walk as an Israelite that it's not about religion. Not truly. I would say as a Christian, no, it's not about religion. It's about relationship. But Christianity is a religion. Okay, let's just facts of the matter. So we are people that has been given the oracles of the Most High and the commandments of him to follow. But he set the standard for us first by writing the law upon our heart when we are born again. You must be born of the Spirit. So Yahusha's blood is still the anchor for our faith and our hope. And so I hope that answers your question. I do want to be clear that it's not that I have a problem with listening to anybody's opinions about anything. When I deal with these gender wars, I listen to the men and the women. I hear both sides, and I agree on both sides on certain points, and I disagree on certain points on both sides. But at the end of the day, once you've heard the whole matter, you have to make right judgment, and that's what I try to do. All right, family, let me go ahead and get out of here. Tonight, I'll be back. Got a phenomenal discussion tonight with Brother Lavelle Walton of the United Kingdoms of Africa. And I'm saying the United Global Kingdom of Africa. It's going to be a very good discussion. I hope that y'all can attend because this organization is making such a huge impact. And this brother was on my channel once before, and we were talking about something that pertains to this as well. But come back tonight about 9:30, I believe, live. We will be on, and definitely get as many people as you can that want to hear about the work that is being done on the continent right now. The work that is being done right now on the continent. You definitely want to tune in tonight. So thank y'all so much for listening. And I'm just going to keep pushing and keep moving forward. And I ask y'all to do the same. And even if you're accused of being holier than thou and judgmental, self-righteous, or any of those things, you keep pressing toward the mark of the high calling, because that's what the Most High has called us to do. So with that said in mind, family, love yourselves without hating your enemies. And as always, y'all bless and salamah.